you're one of the many people out there who thought a tattoo was absolutely perfect and you'd love it forever, and then you came to regret it, well, I'm going to share my tattoo removal experience. Hopefully it gives you a little confidence to get your own removed if that's what you're interested in. I'm Juli Bauer Roth, the food, fitness, and lifestyle blogger behind PaleoMG. Welcome to my channel. I'm here to share my favorite food, workout, and wellness tips, along with how to get things off your body if you don't want them, to help you live your best damn life. Today we're going to be talking about tattoo removal, a topic near and dear to my heart, sadly, because I made a choice when I was 20 years old, and I had to live with that choice for quite a while until I figured out I could remove it and get rid of it and be done with it. So I'm going to show you how I got mine removed. I'm going to show you pictures throughout, and then ignore the pregnant belly. But see, I got a clear side, all because of it. Let's get into it. Now, to understand my tattoo choice, you have to understand where I was at this point in my life. I was 20 years old, I was in college, and I had just started CrossFit. It was all consuming. If you are a CrossFitter or a past CrossFitter, you know I was so addicted and in love, and it changed my life forever. I was so obsessed with my weight before CrossFit, and then once I started CrossFit, I stopped caring about my weight and I started caring about the weight on the barbell. It was such a mindset shift that had changed my life in such a dramatic way, and it really changed my life all moving forward. But then I also had a boyfriend at the time who was covered in tattoos. I mean, he had so many tattoos then, and now he is covered head to toe in tattoos. And so I was at the tattoo parlor, tattoo shop, whatever it's called. I don't know, that's why I shouldn't get a tattoo. I was there all the time with him, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. And then when you go into the CrossFit community, there is often tattooed people everywhere. So it just was my norm. I was around it all the time, and I thought, yeah, I can do that. I'm cool. So I thought about, what kind of tattoo do I want to get? Well, tattoos have to mean something, or, that's what they say. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna get something that means so much to me. And that's going to be about CrossFit. You know how you see people with Iron Man tattoos or the Olympic rings tattoos? Well, I was a CrossFitter, so I needed a CrossFit tattoo. So I just started looking up different things, and I saw, I don't know if it was a CrossFit gym's logo, I have no idea, but it was a girl doing a split jerk with a barbell over her head. And I was like, yes. Could I do that movement? No. Was I good at that movement? No. But that's what sounded good. So I brought it into the tattoo artist who my boyfriend at the time went to all the time. And he's like, okay, sure. And asked me to put my deposit down. I think it was $50 for a tattoo that cost $150 total. And I told him I wanted to get it on my side. Okay, no biggie. I had a nightmare about it that night. Did I listen to my nightmare? Did I listen to my spirit guides saying, hey, don't do this, you will regret it? Of course not. I'm 20 years old. Why would I regret anything in the world? So I did not listen to my instincts. I did not listen to my gut, and I went in and I got that tattoo. So the tattoo artist started with just the outline, and then I said, no, I want it to get filled in. And I think he knew I was going to get it removed at some point, because he's like, I don't think it should be completely dark. I think you should fade it so it's darker at the top and lighter at the bottom. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll do that. So I had 2 tattoo sessions, one with just the outline, and then the second one to fill it in. And there I was with a tattoo, I bet a little bit bigger than an apple, depending on if I'm leaning over or if I'm scrunching down, but a big tattoo that I would regret for a long time after that. Now let's get into how I got rid of this. Luckily, I found out about a place that is a teaching school for lasers. It's a laser college. So this place in town gets all the newest and latest lasers, and so they can test them out, and then they can teach people in the area how to use them. So they always have the best lasers possible. So I reached out to them, I had a consultation, and then I got started. I thought this would probably take 6 treatments, maybe 6. I think I ended at 19 treatments, and that took me over 2 years. but we'll get into that more. Let's first talk about how tattoo lasers work. So there are many different lasers out there, but the gist of it is it sends energy into the skin, breaking apart the ink with heat. Then the white blood cells absorb it, and so you can get rid of it through your liver. Now the biggest question of all, does it hurt? So this is really going to depend on the laser that your laser tech uses, because there's so many different lasers out there. And it's also going to depend on the color of the ink, how deep the tattoo artist went. So it's really going to depend. At the place I went to, they used a Pico-Sure laser, and I numbed up 45 minutes before my appointment. For this area that was about as big as an apple, maybe a little bit bigger, it took about 15 to 20 seconds. So it was really quick and very bearable. Sometimes it hurt more than others because they go at different depths depending on how deep they want to hit that ink. And so sometimes it would be very uncomfortable, but I could totally get through it. And sometimes I would barely feel it at all. Now, I've heard all kinds of different horror stories from people that the laser removal hurt far worse than the tattoo, but that was not my experience whatsoever. The Pico laser I thought was very comfortable. And of course, this depends on you and your pain tolerance. I don't think I have a crazy high pain tolerance at all. I really think it was this laser that has come a long way with time, and they continue to get better and better as years go on. Now, what is the recovery like afterwards? Everybody's tattoo removal is going to be a little bit different. Sometimes you might get blisters. I remember why I was so scared in the first place of my tattoo removal, because my tattoo is partly under my bra. And so a sports bra would be rubbing on it every single day when I was in the gym. And I had seen a friend who was getting a tattoo removed of a diamond ring on her finger, and her blister was bigger than my ring. It was huge. It was this giant blood blister, and it looked so painful. I saw another woman getting a ring tattoo removed. Maybe we just stopped doing rings. That one seems bad. But she was getting this one removed, and it looked like someone had almost cut her finger open with the laser. That wasn't my experience at all. For the aftercare of mine, my skin would feel hot. It would feel a little itchy. It would be irritated if I put it directly under hot water or if something was rubbing on it. But if I just kept stuff off of it, I didn't have to put any sort of plastic wrap like you do after you get a tattoo removed. I didn't have to do anything. I just let it be. And if any sort of blisters accumulated, which can happen, I didn't experience that myself. They would say, just let them be. But your tech will give you instructions to how to care for your tattoo. I didn't have to do anything. The aftercare was the easiest part. Now, how long will it take to remove the tattoo? Oh man, this is the $1 million question. That's gonna depend on where your tattoo is, the color of the tattoo, the color of your own skin, how old the tattoo is. It can really range person to person. So at the place I went to, they made sure to not quote a date because they had no idea how long it was going to take. For me, it took over 2 years. For other people, it takes months. So it's really going to depend on a ton of different factors. And I can't give you that answer, but hopefully your tech can give you a little bit more answer to figure out what's going to be a time range for you. Now, you may be wondering if your tattoo is going to leave behind a scar, because that's what I was worried about. I've seen other tattoo removals where the tattoo is gone, but a scar is left behind. So you can almost see the tattoo that was there before through this scar. I was told by my tech that oftentimes the scarring comes from how deep the tattoo artist went with the needle. She said with me, my tattoo artist used a really light touch, so there should not be any sort of scarring left behind. But something else they used at the laser college that I went to was a CO2 laser to help with any scarring. So oftentimes I would go in for my Pico laser to remove the ink and break that apart, and then I would have a CO2 laser on top of that to work with any sort of scarring as well. There are lots of different options with lasers and scar removal these days, so you can always look into that as well. Now, how much does it cost? Most likely more than your tattoo did. So this is gonna range, like I said, with everything here, depending where you go. I really enjoyed this laser college because they were able to do lower rates because they were getting their lasers for free or at a reduced rate because they were a teaching school. But if you go to a normal tattoo removal place, oftentimes they've purchased this $300,000 to $500,000 laser and they have to pay off that loan. So they will spike their prices a little bit higher because of course they have to pay for the laser. So it really will depend on where you go, how big your tattoo is, how long it takes. There's a lot of different factors. For me, I was able to go on teaching school days. So each appointment cost me about $50. Now my tattoo only cost $150. Remember how I told you that? Well, at the end, I spent over $1,000 on getting this tattoo removed. But I've heard people spending $50 per appointment like I did and up to $300 per appointment. So it's really going to range on a ton of different factors, like I said, and where you're going. Now, would I recommend it? Abso-freaking-lutely. It was one of the best decisions I ever made for myself. I put a lot of money and a lot of time into it, and I'm so glad I stuck with it. I would go see my tattoo removal tech about 8 weeks at a time. Every 8 weeks, I would go in at the dot. If she wanted to spread out that time even more, sometimes it would be 12 weeks. Another time it was a couple months. And then she said at my last appointment, don't come back for another 6 months. We really want to see how this tattoo breaks down over time. And I would notice every time that I went in at 8 weeks, that last week of the 8 weeks, it would break up a ton. That time range is really important. So you want to make sure you have plenty of time for that tattoo to break down and get excreted through the liver. But I would do it all over again. Now I have just a little bit of my tattoo left behind and I don't mind it at all because it's covered by my bra, it's covered by my swimsuit, and so it really doesn't bother me. You can't notice it unless you look extra close, and that's all I cared about. I just wanted to be able to wear a sports bra without being worried about people seeing it, or wear a swimsuit without being self-conscious about it, and now I don't have to worry about that. I would highly recommend this for people who are ready to get that removed and leave that chapter behind. Even if you love that chapter very much, you don't have to have it stamped on your body. So yes, I would highly recommend this. Now, if you want to read even more about tattoo removal, I have a blog post all about it that I'll link below. And if you enjoyed this video, found it entertaining because of the choices I made, or you found it helpful, give it a little like, and don't forget to subscribe so you can see even more videos in the future. Now, I want to hear about your tattoo removal experience. Have you gotten a tattoo removed? Have you gotten multiple removed? Did you find it super uncomfortable, or did you find it not so bad? I want to know your story. I want to hear it all. Leave it in the comment section below. I can't wait to read these stories. Next, I'm sharing a few videos I think you might be interested in, so stay tuned for that. I'm Juli Bauer Roth of PaleoMG. Thank you so much for joining me and laughing with me at this tattoo choice.